Hello everybody, this is Jose Heredia with ADJ celebrating 30 years of pure lighting excitement. We're here for our 8th episode of our LiveLearning webinars. My name is Jose Heredia and here is Marco.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Marco Oceguera. I'm the product specialist with American DJ.
Marco, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Cool. We're here for a webinar on video panels and how you can take advantage of opportunities in this emerging market. This is exploding.
Yes.
Why is this a big deal? What's going on?
Well, you know, video walls are now a big part of the entertainment industry. We've been around for 30 years now, and obviously all our lighting products are in all kinds of different venues, in stages, and video has become a very big part of the entertainment industry. When you go to a concert, now you see video walls. You go to a club, now you see video walls. You go to church, you got a video wall. So it's kind of a natural progression for ADJ to bring this product to the market.
Right, nice. So we have a brand new product in this market. This is the AV6, and here we have it right here in front of us.
Yep.
The AV6, and tell us a little bit more about this product.
Well, the AV6 is a 6 mil video wall, and 6 mil is basically the distance between the pixels that you see here on the panel. This is a very sturdy panel. It's very lightweight, about 23 pounds. It's 23 inches by 23 inches, and you can basically make any kind of configuration with video panels, which is a big advantage if you want to set up a big screen or something small. Here behind us we have a 3x2, which is a total of 6 panels, and they're modular, so you can make them in any shape. Any
configuration.
Yes.
Got it.
Some of the other features on the AV6, it has 1200 nits of light output. It's an indoor wall, so you're going to see this very good in an indoor environment. Some people may use them outdoors, and you can also do that, but you have to be very careful when you're using anything that's rated for indoors and be using it outdoors.
Excellent. So what is it that I'm looking for when I'm shopping for a video panel or LED video panel?
Well, you know, there are several things you want to look at when you're buying a video wall. You want to make sure that the resolution is what you want. The viewing distance is very important. The viewing angle is very important. This particular model is 140 degrees horizontally or vertically. So if you're down below and you're looking up, you're able to see the image very good. If you're from the side, you can also see this image very good also. On a 6 mil wall, the recommended viewing distance is usually about 25 feet or further back.
Got it. Got it. So this particular panel is 6 mil, which means that each pixel is about 6 millimeters away from each other?
That is correct.
Got it. Got it. And how many pixels are on this particular panel?
This particular panel has 96 by 96, and so that's our resolution for this type of panel.
Cool. Now, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to take a lot of time to set up, and it's going to take a lot of tools. What exactly do I need to get this going?
Well, they're very easy to assemble. We actually put a wall together, and we'll show you guys a video a little bit later on how easy it is to set up. We'll turn this panel around so you guys can see the locking mechanism on this panel. Like we said, these are modular, so you're able to attach these to the next panel very easily. All you have to do is line up some pins and tighten them up, and then you're able to line up your panels very easily. You have a rigging bar that goes on top. As you can see behind us, we have a rigging bar, and you want to have a rigging bar on every panel that's on top. You can actually go down on our model a total of about 20 panels down. So you can create a very big, large screen.
Because right here we're working with 3x2, right?
That is correct. So
and
you can imagine.
Go further down or further wide. It's just up to our structure that we're setting it up on.
Yeah, there will be some limitations as far as your processor, what it can handle. The bigger the screen, obviously, you want to make sure that your content is very good, and the viewing distance is obviously going to increase.
Are there any special tools I need to be able to set these up?
The beauty of this product here is you don't really need anything. The only thing that we could use is actually a screwdriver, and it's not really to screw anything together, but once we have these panels together, we can hand tighten them, and then once they're in place, all we do is use the screwdriver to lock them in. And that's basically the only tool that you really need for the AV6 video wall.
Cool. Well, what about accessories like wires and all the data stuff? What do I need?
Well, the AV6, you're going to need your rigging bars if you're going to be using it with truss like we have it here. Even if you're installing it maybe in a club or in a church or any kind of environment, a production event, you're going to need your rigging bars, which we have here on top. We're also using some shackles, and you want to make sure that they're rated for really high strength that can handle a lot of weight. You definitely don't want one of these panels coming down or your whole wall coming down. So your structure has to be very, very sturdy. And we also have some eye clamps that we use to attach it to the truss. And it can be rigged in many different configurations. You want a professional to do it for you. Make sure you guys do it properly, because the last thing you want is a video wall to come down.
Right, right. And to go into, I see here we have a couple of cables. Tell me what this is.
Okay, so here we have, in the back of our panel, you'll see we have power in and power out, and these are PowerCon connectors. If you're not familiar with a PowerCon, Neutrik came up with these lock type of connections. You can go in, let me see, and then they will lock in. Give me a second here, here we go. And this is a good way to secure your power, and then you're able to release it, and then you're also able to link it. So if you have another panel.
If we were setting up an actual panel display, if we are powering this one, we would need this cable to power in from the wall or from your power source into this one. And then to link it together, you would need the white one going in here, right?
Correct. Here we have our output, and this will go to our next panel.
Perfect. How many panels can I set up in one run, one power run?
That's a very good question. Make sure you guys don't connect more than maybe 6 panels or 7 panels on any designated 20 amp circuit.
Cool.
These are drawing about 150 watts on average, but they at max they're using about 300 watts. So if you do the math, you can easily go over 20 amps with 6 or 7 panels at full on. So make sure you don't put more than 6 panels per circuit, and they should be designated circuits, protected. That way it protects your product, and you know, that keeps you from having any problems.
Oh yeah. So in this case, with one outlet we're good, and the 3x2 configuration.
Correct. We have 6 panels here. Everything's running on one circuit. If we had a larger wall, obviously we would need additional circuits.
Cool. Now to run signal, we need this cable. Tell us what about this one.
So here we have our EtherCon cable, and it's basically an RJ45 jack, and these are Cat 6 cables, and you're able to link. We have our connections down here, and you're able to link data from panel to panel, and you also have your initial run that comes from the processor into the panel. And these are parallel inputs, so it doesn't matter which one you connect to, whether it's here or here. And then you're able to jump from this panel to the next panel and so forth. It's sort of like DMX where you daisy chain everything. And there's a configuration that you have to do on the processor. That way the processor knows what the cabling looks like behind the wall. And we'll show you guys how to do that in a little bit.
Cool. As far as being able to service this, should it go down or should you get a pixel that's just not cooperating?
Sure.
What are some of the procedures that happen in case I get into trouble?
Well, video walls, it's very important that you're able to service these, especially once you install them somewhere, or maybe you're out at an event and maybe something happens where one of the pixels is out or something got damaged along the way. You're able to remove these. Let's go ahead and turn this around a little bit.
Sure.
And here we have this panel is actually made up of 4 modules. Let me get this out of the way. And they're on magnetic, so you're able to actually pop it out.
Oh wow.
There are some screws on the inside. We're not going to remove those at this time right now. and they have a pin where it connects. And here we have one of the panels out, so you're able to see what the module looks like. So instead of having to send a whole panel out, let's go ahead and move this over a little bit. Instead of sending the whole video panel out, we can send you one of these. You guys can pop it in, and it's very easy to do. They also have removable masks, so in case somebody damages the front of the replace the whole module, you can just replace these little plastic masks.
Oh, that's cool. Now, I noticed that the mask or the backing is black. Why is that?
The AV6 video wall uses high contrast SMD LEDs, and those are good for your higher contrast indoor use. You're going to get much more clarity out of a black background versus a white surface LED. So it's very important, especially if you're doing indoor events. You'll really see the difference in the contrast of this video wall.
Got it. So we have a warranty on these panels, so in case something does happen, I could send it in if I can't service it in the field?
Correct. All our AV6 video panels come with a 2-year warranty. You always want to be careful when you're handling video walls, as they are a little bit sensitive as far as the, the masks can get damaged. If you're using them for production, you definitely want to have a road case, which is one of the accessories we didn't touch on yet.
Yeah.
We have a road case here that holds 8 video panels, and so you're able to transport them safely and without getting damaged. At about 23 pounds a panel, this case full, you're looking at about 300 pounds. So you need a couple people to move this around, but it's designed sort of a truck pack, what we call a truck pack, where you can actually stack these together and easily fit into a any kind of truck.
Cool. All right, so we talked about the hardware, what we need as far as wiring and the serviceability and being able to cover any problems should arise. What about controlling them and sending video signal to here? What is it do I need to be able to use them?
Well, one of the main components of the AV6 video wall system is our processor. It's the MCT 300.
Let's take a look at that one right over
Let's go ahead.
there.
We have one down here. If we can just pan down. The processor here is basically what talks to our video wall. We have a data cable that comes out from here and goes to the video wall. We have a DVI input which connects to our computer. And we have a USB cable connected right now. And the only reason we have this connected right now is so we can show you how to configure this processor. The processor needs to be configured depending on the wall that you have and the size, whether it's 6 panels across, 3 down, or 15 by 10. So the processor has to know that, and we'll show you guys how to do that. Very important, you have your signal coming in from here on DVI, and it can be any source really. It could be a DVD player, it could be a computer, a cable box, so you can watch DirecTV, or any other of your video sources. The one thing you do have to keep in mind though, if you're using an outside source, it has to have some kind of scaling of availability. And that way you can scale down your image to your screen. If you're doing a screen that's maybe a 4:3 aspect ratio, you have to make sure you have content that's 4:3.
Got it.
Otherwise it's going to look stretched or it's going to look condensed.
Got it. What are some of the aspect ratios that I could use or configuration resolutions?
Well, you have your 4:3, which is your standard old school first TV square box, and then you have the 16:9, which is a widescreen.
When I'm in a movie theater, that's kind of like the aspect
exactly
ratio.
More of a panoramic look. And then there's HD, which is a little bit higher resolution, a little bit wider, and that's for like 4K and some of the other types of video outputs that are out there now.
Cool, cool. Now, as far as content, I mean, you could pretty much put anything on there. Your imagination is your limit, but we're using a special software to be able to manage and put up the content for us. What is it that you're working with right here?
Well, here we have Media Master Express. It's a very, very powerful software. And what's cool about Media Master is it has the scaling capabilities already built in. So if you're looking to get into software that can give you text, that can give you graphics, that can give you all kinds a different video present. Media Master are our way to do it. And like I said, the beauty of it is we're able to do the scaling in the software itself. What's also cool about Media Master is if you have several video walls in different configurations, here we have a 3x2, we could easily add 3 or 4 more walls to this, and we can configure everything on the Media Master software. We can have the same content play through all of the different screens, or we can have different content on each individual screen. So that gives you a very, very powerful tool when you're doing presentations, when you're doing branding. As you can see, we have our logo here on our video wall. At the same time, we have some graphics in the background. So you can imagine you can have your logo here, you can have a video over there, and additional branding on other surfaces.
What about a live video feed? Let's say I'm doing a corporate event and I need to capture the speaker and blow it up on the big screen. What sort of tools do you have available?
That is one of the biggest uses now for video. You have performers on stage, and obviously they're zooming in the cameras so the people in the back can see them on a big screen. And you have people doing presentations, whether it's in a church or a corporate event, and you definitely want to be able to see them from behind, from a long distance. So the Media Master, we're going to go ahead and trigger one of the cameras, and it's just our webcam that I'm going to bring up here, and we're going to send that, as you can see. This is just our regular webcam showing up on our video screen, and all I did is basically use one of our layers in the Media Master software, and I was able to bring that graphic up. It's our video camera, and you can have multiple cameras. We have another camera set up right here. Let's go ahead and do that one.
Cool.
So now we have a different view, and you guys can see us over there. So you have a couple of different views, and you can set up multiple cameras, multiple angles. You can bring them in and out using the software.
Got it.
Or if you're not using this software, you could use an external video mixer.
Right.
As long as it has the output, the DVI into the processor, and it has the scaling capabilities that we talked about, then your image will show up properly on the screen.
That is very cool. And I think to be versatile enough, you're going to need those capabilities to be able to capture video as well as play back video.
Correct.
Whether it be a presentation, a slideshow, a logo, or even just effects. Since we got some of the effects going on right here, so you want to run through some of the effects?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use the Media Master here. We have some presets here.
Ooh, nice.
And we're able to bring in, I'm just touching a couple of keypads here that we assigned some different effects. As you can see,
Lovely.
We have the logo also mixed with some graphics.
Oh, that's really saturated, the color. This is really impactful.
Yes, and this is a relatively small screen, and we're also only about 15 feet away with the camera. Ideally, we do want to be further back so you can really get the full impact of a wall like this. And if we had maybe a 15 panel wall, you would definitely see the difference. One of the other things, let me go ahead and do this real quick. We talked about using content and how to use it. It's very easy for you to bring up text also. Here we have a video.
Oh yeah, we got tons of media here.
Let's go ahead and kill the flames here.
I'm on fire!
So we're able to do text. Let me see what.
There you go. Really nice.
And you can animate it as we have a graphic here with effects. So if you're doing any kind of event, weddings or corporate events where you want to make an announcement, we have somebody here, you're able to assign them and you're able to do some different looks here. Let me see, give me a second. And
you could adjust this on the fly using this particular software.
Yes. So here we have a special events, and say you have a special guest in the house, DJ Marco.
DJ Marco, I didn't know you DJ.
And if you want to add some effects to that, You can just bring it in
that is really
in the
tight.
background. So it's very powerful software.
Yeah.
It allows you to customize it. One of the things you do want to keep in mind when you're doing content and you're doing video walls, you can actually set up a video wall that is very large and narrow. You coming from the graphics background,
Right.
what would you have to do?
Well, I would have to adjust the resolution in my composition, whether it be a software that I'd be using like After Effects or Premiere or Final Cut. I would adjust the composition to match the resolution to the video panels.
Exactly. If you go to some of the, say you're in Las Vegas, you'll see this screen that's maybe 100 feet wide and it's only 10 feet in width, and you're able to see the content. So that's custom content that you can create using all kinds of different software programs. As long as you know the resolution of your screen, you're able to configure it for your video wall.
Cool. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the applications, and then we'll take a small break. I know that I've been to several concerts, and I've been to Las Vegas and some of the clubs, so we know that this is more popular and really hot product for that type of application, concerts and clubs. What are some of the other applications?
There are all types of applications for the video. You'll see them in concerts, as Jose just said. You know, you have the performer playing the guitar, singing, whatever it is, and then they'll go into some graphics, they'll go to some abstract videos, and so that's part of the concert. Some of the other applications are nightclubs. You have the DJ live on stage, and you got graphics and the DJ's name like this popping in the background. You also have live video feeds of the while they're performing. Sports bars, that's a huge market.
Bars.
You know, you'll see video walls in sports bars now where they can create this huge screen, and it's a little bit better to use a video screen sometimes rather than a projector, because there's a lot of ambient light. You don't want to dim the whole room down just so you can see your projector. So video walls are becoming very popular with sports bars. If you want to watch football, baseball, UFC events, or MMA, any of those types of events where they draw a lot of people, they definitely want to be able to see that from far away. Video walls are a very good solution for that. If you're in a church, you know, the scriptures, the lyrics to a song, all of that goes on a video wall. You have the speaker also that comes up on a video screen. All of that is very powerful, gets the message out, and that's the important thing as far as churches. We also have theaters that are using these, and the way the theaters are using these, they're actually putting a whole video wall in the whole background, which is the backdrop, and they're able to manipulate their whole scene in a matter of seconds. It eliminates a lot of the downtime that they have setting up props, and you have custom video in the background that can actually add depth, and it can also add animation, which is something that before they couldn't do.
Yeah,
so
it's almost like a virtual set.
Exactly.
And the actors in theater can interact with the set. Say, for instance, we have this scene where it's just a fire, and you create this commotion of a fire scene. Or let's say if it was at Christmas time, then you have a manger, you know, whatever the director wants, you can pretty much create.
The sky's the limit when it comes to the content that you show. I've seen guys where there's a person on the stage, on the screen, and it's interacting with the screen, and it makes it look like, hey, you know, real life versus virtual, and everybody's communicating. So there's a lot of different types of applications in the theater setting. Schools are also using these billboards for events that are coming up. They can use them as scoreboards in their gymnasiums. They're also using them as backdrops in their own plays. And one of the other markets is retail and commercial space. You'll definitely see these inside malls. You'll see them, you know, showing commercials. They'll show product presentations, specials that are going on, and on and on and on. So there's lots of different applications.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so many that are popping up. Say, for instance, a fashion show at a mall, you know, commercial space. This could be set up behind the catwalk, and you could show the logo of the designer and show some of the other works that they have. I always come up with different ideas. I was thinking like having this in my house, like set up as a replacement for my big screen TV. What do you think?
Well, I hope you have a pretty big living room and a pretty good. I mean, it'd be great. We'll all come over and watch the Super Bowl at his house, right?
That's what I'm talking about. Super Bowl party using this. Imagine.
But you got to get at least 12 panels. You know, make that nice big screen.
Nice big screen. All right. So we're going to take a break. We shot a video shot of the AV6 for an upcoming video, which will be up on YouTube very soon. And we set up a couple cameras to capture how fast and how quick the AV6 can be set up. So in our break, go ahead and enjoy that. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our live learning webinar here at ADJ. My name is Jose. This is Marco.
Hey, how you doing?
In case you're just joining us, we're talking about LED video panels and the different opportunities on how to use them, and in particular, this product right here, which is the AV6. And in this portion of our show, we're gonna go ahead into Q&A. But before we do, I just wanna remind everybody that we have upcoming webinars for this part of the season starting today and then July 22nd, where we're going to be talking about Media Master. And I know there was a question about Media Master, so if you're interested on how to control your video, your ClingNet, your DMX, and your videos all in one, that's going to be the show for you. After that, August 5th is the brand new DMX controller, the NE1, that brand new ADJ NE1, and it's been a big sensation all over the internet as well as the world. Everybody seems to be happy with the NE1, and we'll be showing you how to set it up, how to create your profiles, and how to create shows with your NE1. And lastly, for the season 2, we have our last webinar on August 26th, where we're going to be talking about Parcans. It's actually going to be a Parcan shootout. We're going to have an array of Parcans of all our famous and popular ADJ LED Parcans, and we're really going to show you exactly what each one does and how one fits for your particular needs. Maybe there's one that you just need for all purpose, or maybe one for a particular reason, but that's going to be a show that's going to be really cool. I hear that we're going to dress up as cowboys for that one.
You know what? I don't think I'm doing that one, but hey, if you guys want to dress up, that's completely fine with me.
Cool. So why don't we go ahead and go into the questions right over here. Those of you who have been watching us live on YouTube, we have a little chat room set up. First of all, I'm going to acknowledge all our YouTube viewers. I'm going to do a quick shout out. So we have Giuseppe Giorgio.
Welcome from Italy.
From Italy. Art Sanchez. Hello, one of our big ADJ fans out there saying hello. DJ Johnny Aftershock.
What up, Johnny?
Jordan Jacobs, DJ Advise, CMB Music Productions, DJ True, and let's see, we got plenty of more over here. Ray Bond 73 and Paul Thomas.
Paul Thomas has a question for us.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and answer his question. Let's go down a little bit, back up.
Absolutely.
Paul Thomas has a question that says, I would like to know when to use Media Master versus Grand VJ. And the big difference between Media Master and Grand VJ, You obviously have a little bit more control with Media Master Express. And are you guys, are we good?
Audio-wise? Okay, cool.
Sorry about that. And with Media Master, you have additional control over Grand VJ. You're going to have DMX control, and we also have what's called ClingNet control. Now that we've incorporated video with lighting, ClingNet is another form of a way to send video through lighting products. We're going to probably do a separate webinar on the ClingNet products and how they work together with lighting and video. But that's one of the capabilities of Media Master Express. And also you're able to trigger via DMX and also with ArtNet, which is something that Grand VJ cannot do.
That's going to be a very interesting show, especially guys who want to do video mapping, right?
That is correct.
Hopefully we could touch a little bit upon video mapping.
Yeah, video mapping is a way to have different surfaces. We can have the same content played through all the different surfaces, or you can have different content on each surface, and you can adjust the video mapping to where it can show, say, on a triangle or a circle. And you'll see that a lot with projection and video. On different types of surfaces. You might have seen some buildings that have projection on them, and that's basically called video mapping. And Grand VJ you're able to do that with, and Media Master also.
Cool, cool. So that's a very good question.
Yep.
Moving along, how many panels is in the video wall in the background? Paul Thomas is asking. Total is 6, right?
Right. We have 3 panels across and 2 panels down. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that Edgar and the other Edgar put together. It was a total of 15 panels. It was a 5x3. They put that wall together in about 20 minutes between 2 people. They were able to use our crank stands here, so they were able to set up their first row of panels very easily, move it up, work on the next row, then move it up and work on the bottom row. So as you can see, it's very easy to assemble a 15-panel wall in about 20 minutes.
That video will be posted very, very soon. Just make sure you tune into the YouTube channel under ADJ or ADJ Lighting, and it should come up within the next couple of weeks.
Also in that video, we're going to go into detail on how the wiring is connected in the back of the panels, and also how to configure the interface here. That way you guys are able to go into the processor software, which is Novastar, and you'll see how we were able to configure the wall, and that's going to be in that later video.
Yes, actually that's the most important. We briefly touched it over today,
yes,
but in the video it will give you a more detailed explanation of what to do and how to configure it.
Sure.
Cool.
And that's something that's very important. Like I said, if you have different types of walls and you want to reconfigure them, that's where the processor and that software will come in handy.
Okay, so the next question is by DJ Agate. And the question is, how much would all the panels behind you cost in the software too? So what we're seeing here, what's my investment on this
well, you're looking
system?
at 6 panels here. Map pricing on this is about $1,000 a panel. And you know, we don't want to get into pricing here. You can definitely go to one of your dealers locally. You're going to need the processor. You're going to need the Media Master software, depending on whatever configuration you want. If you need the rigging bars, all the pricing will be available through our dealer network. And you know, this is definitely where you want to search as far as pricing. But they're about $1,000 a panel, so
yeah, and
very
then,
affordable for a 6 mil.
Maybe if you don't have a computer altogether, you have to buy that computer separately, and that's not included in the system. So there's a lot of factors into the pricing, but maybe around the $8,000 range, maybe, give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take. Cool. Let's see if there's any other questions. Paul Thomas, should I order extra parts for backup? If so, what parts do you recommend? Ooh, that's a very good question.
That's a very good question, Paul, because as you may know, there are a lot of manufacturers out there that have video walls out there. And one of the things that they will do is we'll ship you a bunch of extra parts. Well, you know, you shouldn't have to buy a bunch of extra parts for a video wall. You should buy it from a source or a company that's reputable. In our case, we've been around for 30 years. We know our products. We're not going to ship you a bunch of extra parts with the video wall. We're going to test it here at headquarters. We're going to make sure that every pixel, every panel works before we ship it out. It's a long process. It's something that we are investing in. We're making sure that the product is ready to go straight out of the box. In case you do have a problem, obviously there's warranties. If you have a big video wall and you're doing a lot of production events, you want to make sure that you don't have a panel that goes down. In that case, we always recommend that you buy 1 or 2 extra panels. And that's just something that you should do, whether you're doing audio or lighting or video. You should always have backup products in case something does go down. And that's the nature of the beast, as you will.
Yeah.
We have the road cases to protect them, but sometimes we'll have a forklift go right through one of these road cases and it damages one of our panels. What do we do now?
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of extra panels. At least we can get by our gig and we're not losing out. So that's a very important question. We're not going to be shipping you a bunch of extra parts. The things that could fail would maybe damage to the panels themselves. Like I said, we have the modules that you can purchase, and there's power supplies and chipsets, and all of that stuff will be available through our service department.
Right. Well, that's a very good question. Let's move on to the next one. If we have one, what type of video card is needed on your source computer?
That is another very good question. Your content is going to have to be very good content, but you also don't want to try to run 4K content through something that's lower resolution. So with that being said, you have to have a good computer that can handle the processing depending on the size of the wall that you're using. You want to make sure that you use a powerful computer. If you're doing a very, very big wall, you want to have good cabling. Your cabling is going to be very important. The signal coming out of the processor going to the wall has to be very good, and that way you don't have any latency. If you have an older computer that doesn't have the requirements for Media Master or for the processor, then you're going to maybe run into some issues where the video might be stuttering a little bit. So definitely you have to have a good video card that'll have a lot of memory. The higher the resolution, the better the video card should be.
Right. I would always go with a rule of thumb and try to buy a computer that is the fastest computer you could afford. I mean, that's the best thing to say. Don't go out there and get out a loan for $20,000 for a computer. I mean, try to really think what your budget is and go with the fastest computer you have.
Exactly, and there'll be lots of different types of applications where a media server might be something that you might need on a larger scale, and that's something that's also available from us or from other companies.
Good question, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. We want to answer those questions. DJ Gate again asking, are these rated for outdoor use? Which we talked about earlier in the show, and these are not outdoor rated.
Correct. This is an indoor rated wall. What does that mean? You can use it indoors. You can install it. You're not going to have any issues there. They do have some capabilities where you don't want to be in a very humid environment. You don't want to leave these out in the sun where they're direct light. You don't want to get them wet. They're not IP65 rated where you can get them wet. So with all that being said, there are a lot of things that we buy for indoor use that we take outdoors and use them. Whether it's a TV, a radio, whatever it may be, it'll totally be up to the customer or the production company how they use the product. You definitely want to take care of the product and protect it with the cases. If you're going to install it somewhere, it has to be protected. And with that being said, it's an indoor product. How you use it will totally be up to the customer. Right.
Good question. Do you say how many pixels are in each panel? DJ Gate, once again, we covered that earlier today. The pixel count is?
96 by 96.
So when you're considering your compositions, when creating content for the video panels, always take into account how many panels total, what configuration, if it's a 3x2 or a 4x5, whatever it is, take that into account and make your comps accordingly. So if I had 3 across, I would multiply 96 times 3.
Correct.
2 down, 96 times 2, and there is your resolution.
Yeah, and our video wall processor will handle different types of resolution. Some of them are 1024 by 768, 1280 by 1024, 1600 by 1200, and the max would be 1920 by 1080. So if you start counting how many pixels you need to go down and across, you can definitely see how many panels you would need to get exactly how many pixels to this resolution. Now, you don't need that many panels to get this type of resolution with the scaling capabilities of the software and some of the other products that are out there. You're able to scale it down. So if we only have 12 panels, we can scale it down to our screen.
Cool, very good question. Any other questions on the chat room? Let's take a final look. And I don't think we have. I think we've covered a lot in today's show as far as what you need to get into the LED video panels, what's the difference what to look for when you're shopping for one, and of course the setup, how long does it take, and how many people you need to run, which I think, I don't know, I think I could do a whole setup like this by myself, but if you have an extra person, that will probably cut the time in half, or at least give you some support. I think in conclusion, what can we take away from this?
Well, I think you should take away that the AV6 video wall is a very good wall, very well-made wall. It's coming from a company that's been around for a long time. Comes in at a very good price for the people that have maybe thought about getting into video walls. Now they're looking at it and say, well, maybe you know, it's not so difficult. I can run the content that I want very easily, whether it's very quickly from a computer. I can do my live feeds. I can do my text, I can do my graphics, not very heavy, easy to set up. So those are the types of things that, you know, entertainers, event managers, all you guys that are out there doing the events are looking for these types of products at a good price and from a reputable company.
That's it, reputable company, great price, great product. That's the AV6 from ADJ. On behalf of everybody here at American DJ, I want to thank you guys for watching this live webinar. Marco, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Jose, we'll see you next time.